What makes sports animes epic? Some of you might say a good story, likable characters, so on and so forth. But every good sports anime should have some spicy memes. Me and the boys after final exams. I wonder who was the handsome guy who made it. Oh wait, it's actually me. So if you'd like some more spicy memes, why not follow my Twitter account? Shameless plug, I know. Speaking of shameless plugs, why not subscribe while you're at it? It has been almost 3 weeks since I uploaded a Haikyuu video, so it's safe to say that I'm a bit late here. So in order to remove my sins, I will be summarizing episode 5 as well as episode 6. But if you came just for episode 7, then the timestamp will probably be on the screen here. In this episode, we see both Hinata and Kageyama at the training camps. The episode just goes back and forth between the two. Kageyama was trying his best to fit in. The boomers from the camp noticed it, while Hinata, being the ball boy, he just kept analyzing people's playstyles. And the highlight of this episode is when Kageyama and Hinata reunited. This was probably my favorite episode thus far. I just love it when both Kageyama and Hinata are together. As for this episode, we got what everyone expected. The whole Karasuno team finally reunites, and a lot of people improved as well. After that, they are playing a training match against Daitek. I really don't know how to pronounce this name, so yeah. And the episode ended with Kageyama saying to Nishinoya, "You're in the way." So, if you skipped to this timestamp, hi. And if you didn't, well, then you just wasted your life. In this episode, they didn't focus on the match itself, but rather on the Karasuno members. But mainly, this episode focused on the growth of Kageyama. You see, since Kageyama was in junior high, he was given the nickname of the King of the Court. He/she would see the title as some sort of praise, but his teammates gave him the nickname because he was some sort of dictator. At the end of the day, Kageyama wants what's best for his team, but he can be a bit too enthusiastic, in a bad way at least. But as we watched Kageyama develop, he starts changing his attitude to the point where his previous teammates were surprised of his sudden change. But at that point, Kageyama still feels guilty about his past, and it keeps haunting him to this day. I wouldn't say Kageyama truly changed himself. It feels like he was wearing this mask to cover up who he really is. A lot of us do this in order to fit in, hiding our true feelings and emotions just to be like the rest. But this week, Kageyama sort of accepts his past and moves on. This is why I really love this episode. This is the first huge step Kageyama takes in truly defining what he intends to do with the setter position. He wanted the control tower role since he first started volleyball, but he hasn't been successful, up to this point at least. His skills are nearly perfect, and whatever new skills he has to learn, he picks it up incredibly quickly. This fundamental crisis about what it means to be a setter and what sort of relationship should he have with his teammates. It finally feels in this episode like he's on his way to resolving that crisis. So Kageyama's missing the one thing that makes Oiwaka special. The one thing that makes Oiwaka special is that he brings out the best out of his teammates, mentally and physically. Although Oiwaka might not be the best in terms of skill, but he is the most skillful when it comes to bringing out the best out of all of the players in his team. He can pretty much adapt to any single team. Another thing I like is that everyone grows from this as they are calling each other out on their mistakes instead of being somewhat passive. Sometimes in the previous seasons, I feel like that they were just a bit too nice when it comes to mistakes, but here they are being more honest with each other, which in turn opens up an avenue for growth and potential. Another interesting thing is how passive Hinata has been all season in regards to the court, yet he has been the most influential character from the sidelines. His character has always been defined by his talent and limitations on the court, so this is an excellent way to add dimension to our protagonist. And while this episode is filled with a ton of memorable scenes, one of the most memorable being Hinata crowning Kageyama as the king of the court, but the one scene that stood out for me was Sugawara's look and comment to Hinata about there being good growth, and Hinata being oblivious that Sugawara's trying to praise him and not just agreeing with what Hinata was saying about Kageyama and Tsukishima. All in all, I loved this episode. We had some funny moments where Suki, well, was just being himself, and the whole Karasuno team grew. The moral of the episode is just to accept constructive criticism, cause even though that may hurt your feelings, in order to improve, you need to listen to others, and I especially can relate to this. I mean, if there was no one to criticize me, I would have still made shitty videos on my phone. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. A lot of the stuff I got is from the discussion forums in Reddit, so I'll leave the link down in the description below. So anyways, my name is Soap, and I'll see you in another video. Hey you, do you like Thorkel? Why not join the most epic Discord server? Our new icon is actually animated. Look at this cute soap guy dancing. Who doesn't want to join this amazing Discord server? You can message me, share your spicy memes, and also talk with others in voice chat.